Hello, and welcome back to another wellness webinar. My name's Tony Wright. I'm a wellness intern under Jenna Chase at the Alphon Center. And this week, we're going to be talking about something a little different than our regular nutrition webinars. For this month, we're going to be going over a variety of topics. And for this week, we're going to be talking about digital detox, the importance of a good night's sleep, and mindfulness. So we're going to be reviewing a Welcoa resource that we have access to. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and give me 1 second to do just that. Okay, so here we have it. Getting a Good Night's Sleep, Digital Detox, and Mindfulness, an expert interview with Luke Seaward, again from Welcoa. So to give you a little background on who we're going to be talking about tonight, who's going to be in this interview, we'll start with Dr. Luke Seaward. So I'll zoom in so we can see this a little bit better. So Luke Seaward is a renowned and respected international expert in the fields of stress management, mind, body, spirit healing, and corporate health promotion. Additionally, he is an award-winning author, photographer, teacher, celebrated film director/producer, and much sought-after inspirational speaker. He currently serves as the executive director of the Paramount Wellness Institute in Boulder, Colorado. Dr. Seward can be reached via his website, www.brianlukeseward.net. And then we'll go ahead and talk about Ryan Picarella. He is the president of Welcoa, from which, again, we grabbed this resource from. So as president of Welcoa, Ryan works with communities and organizations around the country to ignite social movements that will improve the lives of all working people in America and around the world. With a deep interest in culture and sociology, Ryan approaches initiatives from a holistic perspective that recognizes the many paths to well-being that must be in alignment for long-term healthy lifestyle behavior change. Ryan brings immense knowledge and insight to Welcoa from his background in psychology and a career that spans human resources, organizational development, and wellness program and product design. Prior to joining Welcoa, Ryan managed the award-winning Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee Well at Work Employees Wellness Program, a 2012 C. Everett Koop Honorable Mention awardee. Since relocating to Nebraska, Ryan has enjoyed an active role in the community, currently serving on the board of the Gretchen Swanson Center for Nutrition in Omaha. Ryan has a Master of Science in Industrial and Organizational Psychology from the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga and a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology from Northern Arizona University. So with those introductions, let's go ahead and get right into this interview. So how many hours of sleep do we need for optimal performance? What is keeping us from getting a good night's sleep? What is the impact on employee stress? Learn how to help employees improve their sleep and lower their stress in this expert interview with stress expert Dr. Luke Seaward. The good news is that the solution may be right in front of our faces, literally. So question one that we're going to dive into. Can you provide us with a background on why sleep is so important to our overall health and well-being? Dr. Luke Seaward's response is, so much attention in wellness is placed on the hours that we are awake and what we do when we're awake, such as work, exercise, and eating habits. Yet we spend roughly a third of each day, our lives in fact, sleeping. Few wellness practitioners, and far fewer people in general, place any emphasis on this aspect in wellness programming. Insomnia is a huge wellness issue in America. Over 50% of Americans claim not to get a good night's sleep on a regular basis, and estimates suggest that most people, including children, do not get enough sleep each night. Sleep loss has both short-term and long-term implications at the worksite. With regard to short-term aspects, poor sleep, quality and quantity, results in loss of attention span, poor reaction time, poor decision-making, miscommunications, lethargy, and fatigue. Many work-related accidents are directly tied to poor sleep. The long-term implications are even more daunting. Research now reveals that poor sleep quality is associated with a suppressed immune system, obesity, and very likely heart disease and many forms of cancer. So we dive into question two. Why do you think so many of us are not sleeping well or sleeping enough? Luke Seaward's response is, over the past several decades in the American culture, sleep is considered to be a luxury rather than a necessity. As such, many people tend to shave off sleep time on either end of the night to do other things, such as catch up on work, surf the internet, or watch television. 8 hours of sleep is considered to be the gold standard for optimal sleep wellness, yet many people seem to get by with 5 to 6 hours each night. Then there are those people who don't sleep at all during the night. This all adds up to poor sleep management. Question 3. We all know there's a strong connection between stress and a poor night's sleep, but can you explain exactly why that link exists? Dr. Brian Luke Seaward responds with, the sleep literature is fascinating. There are many reasons why people do not get a good night's sleep, including sleep hygiene, medications, menopause, prostate issues, sleep apnea, evening snacks, out of sync biorhythms or jet lag, light pollution, acid reflux, and chronic pain. However, stress, emotional stress, is associated with more than 50% of all sleep-related problems and is very common. Where does stress fit in? People often find themselves lying awake at night worrying about finances, health, healthcare, childcare, elder care, and job security. The list of stressors is nearly endless. I would have to say that based on some of the new research from the American Psychological Association's 2015 report on stress, what really keeps most people up at night deals with the anxiety of financial matters. Question 4. You mentioned sleep hygiene. Can you explain what that is? Brian Luke Seaward says, sleep hygiene is the term given to understand our typical sleep environment. Ideally, the bedroom should be devoid of things that tend to interrupt a good night's sleep, including street noise, room temperature, light, televisions, computers, partners who snore loudly, even pets on the bed. Sleep experts recommend that good sleep hygiene includes the most conducive ambience to promote quality sleep. More than just a comfortable mattress, good sleep hygiene includes a cool, quiet, and dark room. The National Sleep Foundation goes as far as to say that, due to the invasion of technology in our lives, we should keep our bedroom a tech-free zone. Question 5. Aside from stress, what else is known to disrupt a good night's sleep? His response is, people are not going to want to hear this, but the newest issue with poor sleep is the nonstop use of cell phones and screen technology. The portion of the brain that regulates sleep is the pineal gland. It is the pineal gland that creates and secretes melatonin, also known as the sleep hormone, as natural light diminishes. Research now substantiates that the light, specifically the blue spectrum, from these screen devices is registered in the pineal gland during the evening hours, in essence, shutting off the production of melatonin. There is also the concern that microwaves from cell phones can cause damage to the pineal gland as well. One danger is with kids who take their smartphones to bed and text all night into the wee hours. Not only are these kids not sleeping, but we could argue about the impact on brain development. Question 6. We've been talking about not getting enough sleep or high quality sleep, but what characterizes insomnia? Brian Luke Seaward says, insomnia is a complex topic, and as such, there are many types of sleep disorders. Some people simply cannot get to sleep at night. Others take forever to fall asleep, only to wake up and not be able to fall back asleep again. Some people, the light sleepers, wake up several times in the night. Simply stated, insomnia refers to poor sleep patterns over time. Sleep experts describe 3 types of insomnia: acute, being several days to weeks, intermittent insomnia, several weeks to months, and chronic insomnia, several months longer. There is a 4th category called rebound insomnia, where people attempt to discontinue using a sleep medication only to find they can't sleep without it. There is a time and a place for sleep medications, but the sleep experts I talked to when writing my new book about sleep said that this should always be a last resort, not the first. If I could add one thing here from a holistic mind, body, spirit perspective, which is my educational background, insomnia is not just an imbalance of brain chemistry, but by and large, this is how it is looked at from our Western culture perspective. Many of the sleep medications have some serious side effects and interactive effects with other medications to consider. Question 7. Is light from phones and other devices the main way that technology is adversely affecting our sleep? Brian Luke Seaward says, in addition to the light from screen devices, there is also electrical pollution, known in physics as ELFs, which means extremely low frequency vibrations, that also affects the pineal gland. We are all electromagnetic beings and are greatly influenced by these vibrations. I have come across research that links the microwave pulses from the Wi-Fi router to decreased melatonin levels. For this reason, I recommend that people turn off their Wi-Fi routers at night before they go to sleep. By the way, I highly recommend reading the classic book on this, Cross Currents by Robert Becker, MD. The book Disconnect by Deborah Davis is also an excellent resource. Question 8. You have popularized the term digital detox. What is digital toxicity and how do we detox? Bit of a tongue twister there. Brian Luke Seaward's response is, we live in an amazing time in human history. Never before have we been exposed to so much sensory stimulation, all right at your fingertips with a few keystrokes or a click of the mouse. We are all trying to keep up with the news, events, people, friends, topics of interest, and who knows what else through social media. A most apt metaphor for the sensory stimulation is like drinking water through a fire hose. All of this sensory stimulation in a 24/7 accessible, voyeuristic society can become overwhelming to the point of sensory bombardment. In stress management terms, we call this mental paralysis. It is the freeze of the disengaged flight response. Sociologists are having a field day observing how people use and abuse screen technologies today. They even have a name for this abuse, screen addictions, and some call it the new social addiction. People think nothing of taking their smartphones and tablets to bed with them. The internet has become a public service, like electricity or running water. It is not that technology is bad, it is how we use it and how it is used that becomes problematic. Question 9. So how do we detox from digital overload? Brian Luke Seaward says, this is the million-dollar wellness question. We can start by creating healthy boundaries with the use of these technologies. Again, technologies are not bad. It's how they are used that can be problematic. Set a media curfew, like no smartphone use after 8 p.m. each night or no screen devices in the bedroom. Another idea is to get outside in nature without cell phones, GPS devices, iPods, etc. This is a great way to recalibrate your body's biorhythms or internal clock. And my favorite way to detox is with a daily habit of meditation. Now let's look at question 10. Anybody involved in health promotion has heard about mindfulness, which seems to be, in part, what you are describing. Where does mindfulness fit in, and how does it correspond to digital detox and a good night's sleep? Response is, mindfulness meditation has become a popular way to add to one's work-life intelligence. Keeping in mind that there are many ways to meditate, mindfulness has gained a lot of traction through the popularity of Jon Kabat-Zinn and the research of Richard Davidson from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Mindfulness is a practice of living in the present moment rather than the past, which brings up feelings of guilt or frustration, or the future, which often creates anxiety or fear. In a culture defined by short attention spans, training your mind to focus on one thing without ricocheting all around is a form of mental stability. A practice of meditation allows one to be calm in the storm, and mindfulness is now a popular way to meditate. Moreover, one of the great benefits of mindfulness is that, in addition to helping to lower resting heart rate and blood pressure, it also helps to promote a good night's sleep. Question 11. What is the thread between insomnia, digital toxicity, and mindfulness? Brian Luke Seaward's response, in a word, ego. It is the ego that keeps the brain active all night with anxiety about past and future events. It is the ego's curiosity or voyeurism that is drawn to many of today's digital distractions. And it is the goal of meditation to domesticate the ego for mental, emotional, and even spiritual well-being. We don't talk much about ego and wellness programming, but we really should because it's the 9,000-pound elephant in the room that everyone ignores. And then for question 12, our last question of the interview, we have, any additional thoughts on stress, insomnia, and digital toxicity? Brian Luke Seaward says, for some people, the word meditation may have some baggage with it, but that is so 20th century. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that the digital age is here in full throttle. We have a choice, to be swept away by the repeated tsunamis of digital information or move to higher ground, which includes not only healthy boundaries, but incorporating a regular meditation practice. How can anyone live in this world today and stay grounded without employing either one of these wellness behaviors? As I often say, wellness is so much more than broccoli and aerobics, or in today's lingo, kale and CrossFit. I worked for several years as a sports psychologist with the Olympic biathlon team. At that level of competition stress, you need to be mentally fit as well as physically fit. I taught all kinds of relaxation techniques and coping strategies to Olympic athletes. These are critical practices for anyone hoping to compete at that caliber. We called all the non-physical training mental training, and it included meditation because at that level of competition, you need excellent concentration skills and the ability to focus. The same is true today for everyone. We live in a culture of distractions. No greater example exists today than our screen technologies. To navigate this world at optimal wellness, we each need to be able to focus. When you can do this and do it well, you have taken the pebble from the hand of the master. So that is the end of our interview. I will stop sharing my screen. I would encourage comments in the comment section for those who tune in and watch to what their thoughts were. If you're able to join us, we hold webinars on Thursdays at 7 p.m. You'll get an email the day of that we're going to hold them and what the topic is going to be on. And you'll just have to email wellness@sjcme.edu to reserve your spot because we do it on Google Meet. And we have some great post discussion after these webinars. I highly encourage you to come. Something I was able to grasp from this week's webinar or this past week's webinar was I actually bought myself a pair of blue light spectrum blocking glasses. I have a tendency to play some video games with my friends later in the evening, and this can kind of cause me to have a little bit of trouble falling asleep at night. So I've been wearing those the past couple nights, and even when I get off at a later time at night, I'm able to go to bed. So if you can, I would recommend picking those up if you still have trouble putting those screens down. So there's a little compromise there. But again, I hope to see you guys in the live format. If not, I hope you keep enjoying these recorded sessions, and I will see you next time. Thank you.